a technical writer, like I mentioned earlier, your job can differ from company to company. Some companies require their technical writer to also be their social media manager. So you don't, one of the places you create content is on their social media platform. You plan contents that are supposed to be engaging so that their followers will be able to benefit from or know more about their product or whatever it is they want to put out there. So yes, in some places, social media management writing.
Thank you very much. Anybody with any other questions? Okay, no questions. Thank you very much, Amarachi, for that insightful talk. Can we give her a round of applause, please? Technical writing. Wow. Okay. So, next up on our agenda, we have the panel session with some of our esteemed lecturers. Can we give them a round of applause? While setup is for that would be going on. Okay. You guys should sit back and enjoy the snacks. Setup for the panel session will be going on right now. And during that period, we'll be having the giveaway. Yeah, so sit tight. Welcome back, Anita.
Thank you, Chibu. So we'll be having a giveaway session right about now. You guys should sit tight as we set up for the lecturers panel. Yes. So we're going to need 6 volunteers.
3 from Babcock, 3 from the invited schools. From the invited school, 1 per school. So it's going to be a quiz, and it's going to cover some of what you learned here, some details about Tech Xplore, and maybe 1 or 2 unrelated questions. So if you're interested, you can just come out, and if you're confident in your ability, make sure to come up right now. Any volunteers?
Do we have any volunteers?
Volunteers, okay. You want to volunteer? Come up, come on stage, don't be shy. Please give me a round of applause. Okay, we have another volunteer. Okay.
1 more from Babcock University.
One more from Babcock. Are you guys shy? Come on. 1 more person from Babcock.
3 from the invited school.
Invited schools, you guys are not saying anything, no. Should I pick someone? Oh, you, come up. Give me a round of applause, please. Okay, we need 1 more from Babcock, 2 more from the invited schools. All right, come on stage, come on stage.
Please give him a round of
applause. Give me a round of applause.
So we need 1 more from Babcock University,
and 1 more from the invited schools.
Yeah.
You guys are shy. I can see some people trying to
You
make
guys
their
know
friends come.
your
Okay,
part.
come up. Last from the invited
Give me a round
schools.
of applause.
Give me a round of applause. 1 more from Babcock. One more from Babcock. Woo! Give it up for her. Okay, so this chair. Okay, so right. This is going to be a little quiz. All questions were generated from my mind. So blame me if you don't know the answer. Okay, so the first question. We have 6 sponsors for this event. If you want to answer, just raise up your hand. First person to raise up your hand, get the mic. Okay?
Get your points.
Yeah, you get a point. So we have 6 sponsors for this event. If you can, the person that can list all of them or the most would win this point. So which of you can list the sponsors for Tech Xplore? Sure, you can see any number. One with the most. Okay.
Nexascale, Kuda, BUCC. That's the only one I can.
Okay, nice try. Next person.
Kuda, Nexasio, BUCC, OK Gadgets, and I think Smart Deals.
Give a round of applause to him. So anyone else wants to try? Anyone else?
Okay.
So the point
he
goes
gets
to
that
him.
point.
He goes to him.
My name is Anthony from Crawford University.
Okay, so it's not OK Gadgets, it's OC Gadgets. OC Gadgets. So yeah, you get the point. So yeah,
We'll let it slide.
we'll let it slide. No problem. All right. So the next question. Okay. Can any of you list 5 out of the invited schools, or rather, the person who can list the most invited schools? Okay.
Bulu Atfe, Computer Technology, 200 level Babcock. We have Afe Babalola, Crawford, Adeleke, Bells University, Pan Atlantic, and have I said Caleb? Yeah, Caleb University.
Okay, he said 6.
Can anyone say more than 6?
So we've got Joshua Makonju, 200 level City, Babcock University. So we have Caleb's University, we've got Bowen, we have Crawford, we have Adeleke University, we have Bells, we have Unilorin, and I think we've got Unilag too.
7 schools, more than that.
Crawford, Bells, Caleb, Bowen, Loring, Pan Atlantic, Unilag, Abuad, which one again? which one? And Funab, yes, Funab came. I think OU came too. Okay.
Like you have unfair advantage, you're an invited school. I should have not asked you. Okay, you want to list again? You mentioned 9. You want to mention 10? Oh yeah, now introduce yourself and your school.
Victor from Caleb. So, Babcock, Caleb.
Babcock, you
Babcock
not invite
hosted
Babcock.
the event.
Babcock invited you.
Caleb, Adeleke, Bells, Funab, Uniloring, Redeemers, Funab.
Hey,
No.
you are not here. Oh.
Redeemers is not here now.
You want to try? Okay, so currently it said 9. Anyone who can list more?
I'm somewhere from FUNAB. So you have Bells, Bowen, Crawford, UNAB, Adeleke, Uniloring, Unilag. That's how many? That's 7. Atlantic. That is 8. I mentioned Adeleke. I'm sorry. Can you give me 10 seconds? Sorry.
Time is up. So I think the person that mentioned the most schools
Okay.
was...
Him. What's your name again?
Anthony.
So
From
Anthony
Crawford.
has 2 points.
2 points to
2
Anthony.
points.
Crawford is going with the cup.
Before we continue, we want to acknowledge the presence of one of our alumni, the BUCC president from the 2021-2022 session, Madu Okoma Blessed. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much for being here.
Woo. Okay, next question. This question is not related to this event. Who can tell me the name of the OpenAI CEO that got fired recently? Nobody knows him. Nobody knows
Anyone?
him. Anyone from the audience? Oh, wow. Okay, now. Who raised up their hands? Can you shout his name? Thank you, Sam Altman. All right.
So no one gets that point.
No one gets that point. The speaker for, was it quality assurance or DevOps, talked about CI/CD. So who can tell me the meaning of CI/CD? Okay.
Continuous development, continuous integration.
You mixed it up. Try again.
Okay, CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous development.
Thank you. Okay, one more question about. What are the names of your hosts? The host for this program, okay?
Chibum and Anita.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for participating. You will
So-
get your prizes after the event.
The winner for this session is...
Anthony.
From Crawford, give it up for Anthony.
Yes, the runners-up will
The runners
also
up will get prizes too, so you can make your way back to your seats. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. How was that?
I'll let them decide. How was that?
Refreshments are passing around. I'm sure we've seen them. So now we are going to be having a very, very innovative and learn food
Panel
panel
session.
session. Yes, and we're going to have some amazing lecturers from the invited universities as well as the lecturers from
Babcock University.
So we're just going to call up the lecturers to come on stage. Starting from Dr. Ayankoya. Can we give her a round
Give her a round of applause. She's a lecturer at Babcock University. Next up, we have Dr. Ernest. Okay. And we also have the lecturers from the invited schools. Can they please step up and come to the stage? Please give them a round of applause.
Please, let's keep clapping. So we're waiting for Dr. Ernest.
Okay, so this is Mrs. Victoria from
Crawford University.
Crawford University. Is it Mrs.?
And we have Mr. Oluwafemi from Afe Babalola University.
Great to have you. Great to have you.
Great to have you. So this session is going to be hosted by our very own Senate President
Of
Samuel
BUCC.
Of BUCC.
Give it up for Sam, the man.
Oguntoye.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, thank you for being here with us. So shortly, we'll have a brief discussion on how we can bridge the gap between academics and the dynamic tech industry. So please try and stay with us, and eventually you get to ask questions. So starting off, I would like to pose this question to Dr. Ayakoya. So we say the tech industry is dynamic. How can we structure our academic programs to focus on preparing students that are about to enter this dynamic tech industry?
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, part of the initiative that could help in bridging the gap between academic and industry is the regular 6-month CIOS that you normally have. The essence of that program is for students to go to industries and see what actually happens there, learn how things are done, and practicalize most of what you were taught theoretically in school. Nonetheless, that's not the only way. In addition to that, there can be boot camps, there can be programs that will help students have understanding of most of the technical things that are done in industries. Like during holidays, during summer programs, there can be they see how things are practically done. And then if it's possible to invite, just like the Tech Xplore we're having here now, this seminar and most of the presentations, some of the ones that I watched online, and actually trying to help the student understand better what life is outside the four corners of a school. So if we can incorporate more of this, maybe into the curriculum, I see that helping students more. If possible, have maybe a certain period in a semester or in a session, whereby you have people from the industry visit institutions and then discuss more with students, organize programs like boot camps where they can practicalize most of the things they are taught and see how these things are done real life. And then in addition to this collaboration, we could have students that are smart working as volunteers in some of these organizations just to help them have a better exposure to technologies and things that happen outside. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. So now we'll have another speaker joining us. Please, can Dr. Chuku please join us on stage? Please, a round of applause for him. Welcome, sir. All right, so I would like to ask you a follow-up question. So, of all the things you spoke about that we could do, would you say there are like specific skills that we need to pick up? And by saying this, that means we need to go beyond what we are being taught in academics and in school. So how do we develop that mindset of going beyond what's being taught in academics and wanting to learn more?
All right. Thank you very much. Like I keep telling my students, 13 weeks is not enough to make you a professional in any maybe programming language you're learning or in any concept you are being taught. For example, we teach programming with Java programming language. And in most universities' curriculum, it is taught in just one semester. And a semester is 13 weeks. Most of the tech guys that we have that are out there, it is not possible for you to learn Java and be a professional or a developer in Java in just 13 weeks. And that 13 weeks is not even you working every day of the week. Just one interaction with your teacher in a week and for 13 periods. That's not enough. So if as a student you feel you are interested in any specific skill you've been taught in school or whichever one you have found out, the best thing you can do is to create extra time for yourself. After school work, you go ahead and learn more on those things. Pick interest. A lot of organizations have visited us today. They have told us about what they do. There is something called networking. You can find out about those organizations, see how you can visit them on holidays to learn more about those things you are interested in. all the skills that we require cannot just be picked within the four walls of school. Most of our professors, our teachers today, or the high-tech guys, they were built outside school. They were made outside school. That's 13 weeks times how many semesters all through? If it's a 4-year program, that means you have 8 semesters. 13 weeks times 8 is not enough to make you a pro in whatever technology or in whatever skill you want to be skillful at. So we need to create extra time to work and to learn more. And that leads to what we call time management. Coupled with the fact that you have a lot of courses you are taking, each course is requiring time for assignments, projects, and so on. Whatever you are interested in, you must learn to manage your time appropriately so that your school business will not suffer, and at the same time, you create extra hours to study and to learn more about those skills. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Please a round of applause for her. All right, please the mic. All right. So, as we've said, the tech landscape is dynamic. So, and we need to keep up with this, changes that occur constantly in the tech space. So, how do you think we could go about this, keeping up with these changes in the educational curriculum? What kind of changes do you think needs to happen as well within the educational curriculum to keep up with the changes in the tech landscape?
Thank you very much. I was actually anticipating that question. And let me begin my response by saying this. Most of my first-year students complain about, why do we have to do biology? Why do we have to do chemistry? Why do we have to do physics? Why do we have to do GST and all of that? But then, well, not like whatever response I give them would make sense to them. I usually would just tell them, computer science is interdisciplinary, you need exposure to biology, to physics and that. But then that's not exactly the right response to the question. However, how do we, get up to date with the curricula and all of that? I believe it's a policy thing. And the universities aren't actually capable to do that. Starts from NUC, the National Assembly, policies to ensure the curricula is abreast with what's obtainable out there. And then enforcement and all of this. NUC, there's this, the basic minimum requirement that NUC released recently, I think. Well, it's something very close to something that can bring us to where we should be, for real. So I believe it's a question of policy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. All right. So, Ma, in your experience, what would you say you've seen as being helpful to students in bridging this gap between academics and the tech landscape?
Okay, thank you for that. I would say, my own experience, I would say students over time get to that they want, and one thing I try to do is expose them to so many areas that they can pick from. Instead of just saying, oh, this is Java, this is just focus on Java, just focus on C, I will give them so many options they can pick from. And from their area of interests, they're able to pick whatsoever they desire and focus on it. I also try to tell them that picking up this particular area does not mean that that is where you should focus on for life. And there will definitely be more opportunities that would be out there. But if you have this open mindset to learn at intervals, whatsoever new opportunity comes your way, pick it up with the same interest you had in that particular topic you picked initially, and put in the same zeal. It will help you find your career path.
Thank you very much. All right, so I'd like you to answer the same. So what do you think what do you think or you've seen in your experience has been able to help students bridge this gap?
First of all, I'll start by saying, I finished from BUCC University 2012, and my MSc here too in BUCC University. But to answer your question, I would like to say from my experience in BUCC as a student, the students, okay, like one of my colleagues rightly said, the curriculum rather of the university can't do justice to it. But when you have that determination as a student, you come together, you come up with something, and also try to try to see what is out there. I tell them whenever they come to me asking such questions, okay, that what you need to do is to come together, do a research. I expose them to certain areas that are not being given or taught or not in the curriculum of the university or the syllabus of the university. Try to make them understand that, yes, that computer science goes beyond this area, what you've been given in the university at the end of the day. And so they try as much as they could as students to come up with these activities to help them, okay, not just depending on what the university will give you, but coming and sharing ideas and information as students.
Thank you very much. All right. So, Ma, in your long experience in teaching and interacting with students, could you possibly share a story of a student you know that possibly was able to bridge this gap between academics and the tech industry?
Okay, thank you very much. I have quite a number of them. Starting from the last set that graduated, we have Agogomena. I don't know how many of you BUCC students that knows him. He was the best graduating student in his set. While in school, we never had to learn C#. C# wasn't part of our curriculum. But upon graduation, Agogo now works with Cavista, I think, and he works as a C# engineer, associate C# engineer. So that shows that while he was on campus, he had picked interest in that. He never restricted himself to just what the curriculum could teach him. He explored and was able to move. I have another one. There is that same set, Ogume Timileyin. While Timileyin was still on campus, he already had a group, a team of guys that they worked together. They created an application or a software tracker. And even upon graduation, the application still won an award recently, a 7 million naira award. While he was on campus, he had beat up his mind and mindset on what he wanted to achieve. And with his team, they were able to achieve, to bridge that gap because they went extra miles to study and to understand the thing. I remember another particular student, Obiora. Obiora left, I think at the time he graduated was 19 or so. He left for China to study mechatronics. He studied computer science here, but he explored because while he was here, he wanted more than just writing codes and so on. He wanted to build. And, while he was there, he kept saying it and hammering it. Every time when you give him a task to do, he will always do something an extra. He will go out of his way to search for more, to find out more. While he was there, he was already studying on his own about mechatronics. So by the time he went to China to study, he was the best graduating student. In fact, when he sent the picture, the graduating picture, he was the only black guy amongst them there. So if he had not put in the extra effort while he was here, mechatronics was nothing that we studied here. It wouldn't have been the best. He wouldn't have made it. I have quite a number of them. There's also Okwe. Okwe had loved robotics while he was in 200 level. I taught him Java in 200 level. He will always come to me and tell me, I am trying to build a robot. By the time he graduated in 400 level, he had a robot that could respond to us. If you ask the robot a question, it will answer you. In fact, it was part of the exhibition that we took to Abuja for the Ministry of Science and Technology exhibition some time ago. He was able to build a robot, and quite a number of them. All those who I'm referring to are the people that never limited themselves to what the curriculum alone could offer them. They went beyond the curriculum. They created extra time to study. They created extra time to find things online. And one amazing thing about this generation is that you have the resources. You have it at your beck and call. Most of us, we have our phones that we can use. But unfortunately, what we do with the phones is not something that can help build our future. So that's why I'm hammering this. Every one of us, whatever you desire you have, Whatever skill you desire, you want to acquire, don't limit yourself to the four walls of your classroom. The four walls of the classroom cannot give you give it all to you. So we need to create extra time, extra hours to study and to find out more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma. A round of applause for her, please. All right, so lastly, so we said there are a lot of, the tech space is dynamic, is changing. So what are these skills that you think are not emphasized enough in the educational system, in our academics, and what advice do you have for students?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Okay, so the tech space is dynamic, is changing. So, and there are a lot of things a lot of skills to pick up. So out of all these skills, which are some of them that you think are not emphasized enough in the academic system, in the educational system? And what advice do you have for students regarding this?
Oh, well, like she rightly said, I advise my students to, because the thing about IT is, well, before you know where you actually fit in, you might actually need to try a few, programming. If that doesn't work, go into cybersecurity. That doesn't work, go into networking. That doesn't work, till you find somewhere where you feel uncomfortable with this. Because, the space is wide. You don't have to stay stuck at somewhere where you're not really comfortable. I remember the first speaker that, talked about quality control, Q&A. Saying he was a Java programmer, and then they asked him to go to some other department. It wasn't exactly student, software engineering student. Get your hands dirty, try out. For now, you're trying to walk. You're still crawling, trying to walk. Try out. Do whatever you feel you should do. Be very inquisitive. Try out, and then before you know, you would find somewhere where you feel comfortable.
All right, thank you very much. And with that, we come to the end of this brief panel session. Please, a round of applause for our panelists. Thank you very much. A round of applause as they go back to their seats. Thank you very much, ma. Thank you very much, sir. All right.
Okay, thank you very much to the esteemed lecturers.
That
Can we
was
give
so
them a
insightful.
round of applause? Another one, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, next up we have a bit of entertainment.
Yes, we have a bit of entertainment. We have a saxophonist. And he's here to play some sounds for us. Let's give him a round of applause for Dotun.
Dotun, give a round of applause to Dotun, thank you.
Hi guys. So my assignment here is very simple. Sorry, let me drop this. If it falls down like this, no more. Yeah. So my assignment here is very simple, is to liven up the audience and get you guys entertained. So normally I'll just maybe play like a song or two, and then you guys will clap, or maybe you guys will not clap, sha. But like, I don't want to do that today. I want to do something different. So you guys are going to be part of my performance today, and I'll need everyone to make it work. So what we're going to do, I'm coming. This is going to be crazy. So we're going to split this audience into two. Actually, there are three. So these people here, you'll be my backups, and these guys, you'll be my clappers. You're going to clap for me. Did you get that? So this is how the clap is going to go. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you guys here, as they're clapping, you're going to count. When you hear the 6th one, you just say, "Here they go." Do you get? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it they go. 1, 2. So that we are going to do for me. You guys can stop clapping when I start. You guys clapping. So, my clappers. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here they go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here they go.
Thank you so much, Dotsun. Thank you so much, Dotsun. That was so nice. That was very, very, very nice to hear. For those of us that are musically inclined, we know how difficult it is for someone to be doing one thing and others to be doing another thing. For those of us that are not musically inclined, sorry, we know how hard it's for it to be following that kind of beat. So for him to just come and to just say that and to just go with the flow, that was very amazing. Thank you so much, Dotsun, for showing up here. Next of all, and the last on our agenda, would be a speech by the keynote speaker. Yes, from Kuda Bank. Yes. So I'm calling up on the head of engineering from Kuda Bank to speak. You know, thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you, Anita. I'm going to bore you for that, for not clapping, I think. Better clap. All right, cool. I will try and make it brief. I had a speech written before. I was going to read you one lengthy speech and talk about the theme, elevate, innovate, and techvate. But you guys are hungry, you guys are bored, so I'm going to keep it brief. Well, I'm happy to be here. I've had the opportunity of interacting with a few Babcock alumni, right? And one thing I can say for certain is that you guys are breeding great people. I have 2 on my team at the moment, and of course, Tunji has run away. He's a great guy. He's our head of academy, right? And he's responsible for keeping us up to date at Kuta, bringing up proficiencies that we otherwise don't have. And that's a very, very wonderful job. Bringing it home to the team itself, elevate, innovate, and techvate. The way I look at it is this. To elevate means to open your mind. It means to think beyond the norm. So all of us are typical tech users. A couple of us have laptops. probably the minimum. Okay. I mean, we can switch it up, and I can come and read the speech to you tomorrow. So, what I've just been told is that I shouldn't bore you too much. But not going too much into the speech, maybe I'll get the opportunity to read it to you tomorrow. Like I was saying about Elevate, the way I look at it is being opened. The minimum tech that most of us interact with today is the mobile device. And the end user, the consumer of that technology. But if I ask anyone here, do you know that there are certain people that make a whole lot of money from just interacting with their mobile devices? They do nothing else. Like, that's their gadget, that's their work tool, and they rake in some handsome money. Are we aware? I'm sure a lot of us spend credible hours. Maybe if you check screen time, you would see the number of hours you spend interacting with your phone, chatting with a friend, you know, a couple of things that we do, play game, for example. The question you need to ask yourself as you are part of this session is, what exactly am I looking to do differently from the consumption of this tech? I'll pause at Elevate today, and maybe we'll talk more about innovation. Okay, I have innovation behind me. So I think we'll talk about innovation. We'll talk more about elevation tomorrow. I'm going to make this very, 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 very interactive. I'm going to tell you innovations in engineering from my lens, from my perspective. I had my first interaction with software or a programming language in 2006. And since then, it's been a love journey. And since then, a whole lot of things have changed. And before I start, maybe I'll just ask, any volunteers? Everybody's looking away. Volunteers? This guy. I mean, you're a sharp guy, but I'll ignore you for now. I'll come back to you. I haven't had the interaction. Please come up. Yes. Do you have a work device? Like, do you have any tech gadgets? You have a laptop. So if I ask you, what's the spec of your laptop?
Core i5 7th generation. So it's a Core i5 7th generation with Intel integrated graphics. I think 620 thereabouts. So it does not have any external graphics card, and it's a 14 inches like screen display, full HP, 1080p.
What's control this like?
Yeah, that's it.
So you have an Intel Core i7 7th generation. I think there's a 9th generation, right?
I think we're like 11th generation.
Okay, 11th generation. Can someone help me flick this slide? I'll quickly just introduce you to my very first work gadget. Let's flip it. Yes, that's it. So my first interaction with software programming was with Java. When I got into school, university, there was that ASU strike that happened. So I didn't even get to meet Fortran or Pascal or any one of those other fun stuff. I started with Java. And what you have there is an Intel Pentium 4. I'm not sure if anyone knows what a Pentium is. Intel Pentium 4, 512 gigabytes of, did I say gigabyte? Megabyte of RAM, and I think it was 256 storage or something. And I can put it to you, if any one of you has a phone that is 512 of RAM, you'll be very frustrated. Way beyond how you look now, having gone through this rigorous process of sitting down and hear people talk about a couple of stuff. With an Intel Pentium 4, I can put it on now and I'll go and have a coffee. My coffee will probably be done before I hear that Windows XP sound, or whatever that sound was. I can't remember what it was. So I started software programming with this. And as you can see, along the hardware side, you have modern day software way heavier than what you have. After the Intel Pentium 4, they started the Intel Core series. And then you have the Core i5, Core i7, and then all the generations after, right? And of course, Apple. How many of us are Apple device users here? Okay. Mobile device or a MacBook? Anyone with a MacBook, not CUDA? Awesome. What's your spec? What? MacBook Pro 2011. That's Intel. Still the Intel. Okay. All right. So I think recently Apple had a device launch, and they announced the M3 chip processor for it. So they started at a certain point. They stopped their business partnership with Intel and started building their own processor. So they've gone the M1. Sorry, please, you can go and sit. No vex. I'm sorry. So they started the M1 and then iterated with M2 and then iterated with M3. And that M3, each one had variants. So you had the Max, and then you have just the normal M1 Max, M2 Max, and M3 Max. Next slide, please. And in terms of tools, when I started then, it was a whole lot of text-based IDEs. I'm not sure how far caught up Babcock is. If anyone want to make proud of Babcock, maybe you can come and brag. Let's know what kind of IDEs you have. IDEs are integrated development environment, what you typically use to write code. So I started then with Notepad. I practically wrote code on piece of paper, and I will go to the computer lab. Before I got my PC anyways, I'll go to the computer lab in school then, and go and try out and see if it runs or not. But beyond that, there have been a whole lot of innovations, even around the tools that we use for engineering. So you have Notepad++, which takes a plugin approach where you can install some additional plugins and to the Notepad, and you have more or less like a programming tool. You have visual IDs where you can pretty much see what you are doing. There's a bit of IntelliSense involved as well, so you know what you are doing. There are text highlighting and stuff. And of course, not recently, 2015 I think, Microsoft launched Visual Studio Code Online. Visual Studio Online, sorry. There's the Eclipse Chair, which is also an online version, and of course AWS Code 9. Beyond hardware and softwares that we use for coding, some of the additional innovations that came to play, at least that happened along that same time, was the internet itself. So today you hear people talking about 5G. I think maybe we would have gone through the 3G and the 4G LTE, but we started out with GPRS. I think it was GPRS. There was WAP, Web Access Protocol as well. And then we started getting higher bandwidth, 3G, 4G, and 5G, and then there's fiber optics. And then remote work, COVID 2019. That was a disaster worldwide, but it also gave room for innovation. So if you're thinking, it depends on the perspective, the way you look at it, right? What COVID did in terms of engineering is not, I can begin to talk about it. Before, remote work used to be a dream. And I can tell you, during COVID, people kept working and found ways to work. So leveraging all the existing innovations around internet bandwidth, people moving from desktop computing to web-based computing, distributed computing, that did happen. Next slide, please. Okay. Also during that time period, this is predating my birth anyways, so I wasn't around 1940, 1950, 1960 now. But you can see how some major programming language have come to be in existence, what time they came to be in existence. And beyond that, there have been iteration on a couple of this programming language. So the Java we knew then is not the Java we know now. I think your lecturer have left. I can't cite her. But the Java I started with in 2006 was Java 1.4. Right now, I think we have 17, 21, right? Okay, cool. So we've done some iterations of Java from the JDK and the JRE being packaged together. You've seen separation, JRE is separate, JDK is separate. And beyond that, the JDK is now being modularized as well. So you can choose what you want to have in as what you want to use during runtime or during build time for Java. There's also been modifications on .NET, right? So from the original C#, I think we are on C# 10 or something, 12. So I'm also a bit behind because I'm not that much into this. But we've seen iteration. So we've seen iterations of programming language and how they've improved how we write code, how we build and solve problems, making it very simpler and very faster to do. I have to take a pause. I'm not used to rushing. Your organizer says we need to go. So I think what we'll do is get to a stage in the slide, take a pause, and maybe we'll continue from there tomorrow. Does that work for everyone? All right, cool. Next slide. Okay. Alongside, as programming languages were innovating, as they were being improved upon, frameworks started cropping up. And framework attributes libraries that help you to fulfill functions, make it easier. It's like a layer above the programming language itself. .NET has a framework. There's Spring Boot for Java. There are a couple of web-based development framework, and the idea is it makes learning programming very, very simple. If you've had the pain of going through learning Java compared to picking up Spring Boot to learn Java, you would understand the difference. So frameworks have also gone through some iterations, and things are pretty dapper now, so you can do stuff in minutes rather than hours, you know. Instead of you having to write like a whole line of code, like a whole sheet of code, you can pretty much use frameworks and get through it. Next slide. Okay, I'll pause here, but the way I want you to answer this question, and that'll be my pause. Any takers? Come up. I need two. Just two people. Yes, come up. Let's talk about CSS, HTML. Where does it fit? Is it a language? Is it a framework? Or what exactly is it? And then let's also discuss low code and no code. Come up, come up, come up, come up.
So about CSS and HTML, well, CSS and HTML are not programming languages. They each have their own function, right? HTML is a markup language,
It's used to like build out the code to the structures of like the web
Something
page.
you are explaining to is your,
Expensive.
your colleagues.
So HTML is used to like build out the structure of a web page, right? Then CSS is used basically for styling, but they are not considered programming languages.
Okay. And they are not frameworks.
They are not frameworks.
Are you talking about the same or local? Yeah? You agree with what you said? Who wants to take low code and no code? I agree with you. You are right. So, please, a round of applause for them, please. Yeah, no code, no code. Where does it fit in? Has anyone heard about low code, no code? Come on.
Okay, talking about low code / no code. Okay, we have like WordPress or Wix. Like WordPress, I think, okay, we can call it a framework majorly that is built upon PHP. And you can even do some editing, like if you understand PHP to some extent, but it's not compulsory. And the no code at all, that's Wix, where you do basically drag and drop. So I think I'll call them frameworks.
Any other person that is an advanced tech person? Thank you. The names, please. Thank you. Adeolu, Dimeji, and Michael. So I'll just explain the low code and no code bit of thing. So typically, if you want to solve a problem programmatically, you have to write code. You have to write code, right? If you want to solve a problem programmatically. What low code does is it allows you to write less code. It sounds like a framework, but it is not a framework. So think of a situation where you want to build a web application and you don't know design per se. You are not an expert at design, but you do know how to wireworks some of the components, the DOM components in a web page, right? A low-code platform will allow you to drag and drop stuff, and then you can do behind the scene to just write little code to link those stuff up and perform that action. A no-code approach allows you to do everything without having to write code at all. So it's more of a platform thing than a framework and a language thing. So it's like somebody building a platform around Java and saying, if you want to create a desktop app, just drag this button, drag this text control, drag this, drag that, and you are done. And you'll be able to put actions and be able to do stuff, and that will be a real app, and people will be able to use it. It's a new, it's not that new, right? It's about 4 years going now, 4 or 5. And it's something that some businesses that are not tech savvy use. And they employ people that does a whole lot of no-code business process automation for them. And they are flying. And they service customer at scale. Thank you for having me. I'll take a pause here now. I hope to see you tomorrow and continue. Cheers, thanks.
Thank you very much. We hope to see you tomorrow too. Can we give him a round of applause? You guys are not going to like me for this, so now it's time for the final thing on the agenda. Kuda Bank is going to be doing a giveaway, right? And I would like to invite Adetunji Teju Osho to the stage. Can we give him a round of applause?
Adetunji Tejosho. Sorry, what's your name? Oh, now I see why you couldn't pronounce my name. So, first of all, before I even start speaking, I want you guys to give a round of applause to the organizers of this event. A very big round of applause to the organizers of this event, because they've done a really beautiful job, and I know some of the things that they did in getting every one of us here, though some of them have left, but trust me, it's not easy. It's been a lot of back and forth meals and communication and talks and everything, but here we are today. And like I said, there's a bit of giveaway, and I'm your Santa for this period, so we're going to be doing a lot of engagement. So it is important that you identify, there are a lot of people wearing the CUDA shirt, but it is important that you identify the CUDA staff members and the BUCC or guests that are around. The quick question I have for you is, the first one is, what course did I say I studied here at Babcock? Oh, now people are active. That's interesting. Sorry, you. Yeah, tell me your name now. You, yes. See, if I tell you, and you don't know, just stand up and answer.
You.
Yes, you.
Yes, you.
Eh? No, I got you, don't worry. Your time is going. 5, 4.
Business administration.
Okay, thank you very much. A round of applause for her. What's your name and your department? Your name and your department?
Okon Onono, computer science.
All right, thank you. So the Scrum Master, when he was talking earlier, he asked about some Scrum values. He mentioned a particular number of them. How many numbers? Say yes, you. I told you if I say you, just stand up and answer. Don't be waiting for who is who. So you, yeah, the lady in gold or yellow. Sorry, what's the answer? 5. Can you name them? You cannot run away.
Okay.
Commitment.
I didn't say you should read it too.
Openness, respect, and courage.
Sorry, call them again.
Commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage.
Yeah, focus, openness, respect. A round of applause for her. Sorry, your name and your department is important, so if I need to identify if you're a student or one of the external people.
I'm Choma Furum.
Okay?
Computer science.
All right, cool. Computer science.
That's why it's good to take note too.
So now, for a CUDA inclined question, what industry is CUDA in?